How can you build future thinking as an adult with ADHD? As an adult with ADHD, often we get to the top of the stairs and I can't remember, how did I get here? We forget to text people back. The weekend is suddenly here and we've made no plans. As an adult with ADHD, we often don't think ahead, and considering the future is hard. And it's sort of that we live in the now. There's now and not now. I am actually the opposite. I am super anxious. So I think about the future all the time. It's draining. Now, a lot of my material is my own, but some of this I want to reference is Sarah Ward. She's an executive function coach. I will put her information in the links. She has pioneered this idea of future thinking and how to build it. So I'm incorporating her strategies in here too. And I want to talk about how to build this future thinking muscle. So let's get into it. I'm Caroline Maguire, and I'm here to talk about all things friendship and ADHD. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, let me know what you think in the comments, and subscribe. So why is future thinking hard for adults with ADHD? Well, future thinking is part of the executive function. It is the management system of the brain, and executive function is often an area of weakness for people with ADHD. So this can be taught, and if you are always kind of wondering, how did I get here? And you don't think ahead easily, this is something that can be a struggle, but we can build this muscle and this skill like all executive functions. So here's the key. If you want to know why did I come in this room to grab something or think ahead to the weekend, human beings are capable of a form of mental time travel and future problem solving. This future thinking is driven by a number of cognitive functions that allow us to simulate and construct a detailed mental image of the future. The process of imagining the future and creating a mental dry run is called mimetic ideational information processing. This process is known colloquially as mind miming. When sports people talk about visualization, this is what they are talking about. And I never knew that. When you talk about visualization, you're trying to create a mental model. Mind miming is a form of mental trial and error that allows you to imagine future actions using two parts of executive function, nonverbal working memory and verbal working memory in concert. So your visualization, or the sort of mental picture you can create of your future self doing something, and then your self-talk narrating doing that something. So I literally am using these two forms of executive function in concert to create a little movie in my mind. When I work with children, I often ask them if there's any time when they do this, and often they'll tell me video games or for soccer. And so one of the questions I would ask you right off is, do you think you do this anywhere? If I have to go to Boston for the day, I'm picturing myself getting in my car, driving in. Do I need gas? Yes, I better go get gas. Ooh, I better count in that time. I'll leave 15 minutes earlier. How do I drive there? Do I take one of two highways? Do I take back roads? And I'm picturing myself going through this experience. I'm not actually doing it yet though. I am simply visualizing myself doing this. One of the first steps to creating this mental trial is to think how a situation is similar or different to something that's happened in the past, and create a mental sketch where you think about, okay, if this is similar, then what did I do to complete that task, and picture and visualize it. So really inherent in this process is a pause where you sit down. Now, I'm going to tell you personally, every Sunday night, I go through my calendar and I create these mind mimes. I also do it if I'm on a spin bike, where I think about, what am I doing, right? If I'm on the treadmill, if I am, sitting waiting for one of my kids to come out of an activity, I will look at my calendar and I will try to go through this mental trial and error and create this movie. And the first thing you do is think about a similar experience you've had so that you can walk through it. The other thing you can do is create and use visual prompts. You can literally make a movie of yourself doing these things. If you habitually do something and you struggle with it, some of us with poor memories, I might do something 2-3 times a year. It's really big. It's a work event, but I don't always hang on to all the data surrounding it in my mind. And so you might actually create a little movie or a little sketch of you actually doing the activity from beginning to end so you can picture it. When you are making this movie or this mind mime in your mind, a few questions that Sarah Ward has developed and I've added to that help you picture this is, what will you look like? What does the activity look like? What am I doing in this activity? What does time look like? What will I feel? And I really think, like, what will I say? So if I'm picturing myself and I'm like, oh, I need to go upstairs and get socks, I can write it down on a little note, but I also can engage in a quick mind mime. I'm gonna picture myself going to the top of the stairs. What will I look like? I will be walking down the hall. I will go into my bedroom. I will go into my sock drawer and I will retrieve the gym socks so that I can go work out. There are people who have trouble walking through these mental scenarios and who, because of weak verbal or nonverbal working memory, just don't have that visualization. In neurodivergent people, we know we hit little roadblocks like this, and it's part of the deal. So you may be sitting there watching this video saying, I know that this isn't something I can do. And in which case, this isn't a task for you. But for many of us, we just never were taught that this is something we could be doing, and we haven't had the skills or the pause to actually walk through our activities and picture ourselves and create a mental movie in our mind. I think this skill is a game changer. I have personally found, since I started doing this about 20 years ago when I found out about it, that I am far less likely to run out of gas, forget to do something. When I struggle with keeping up with people, it's a skill I implement so that I can think about how could I engage with this person, and I create a visualization of how could I find a way to talk to them. And I start looking at my routines and really visualizing it. I wanted to make this video because I think this is a skill that is in the child world, but is not talked about in the adult world, and I wanted to give you that information. Thank you to everyone who stayed on till the end. I hope this is helpful to you. Please let me know anything you need more clarity on in the comments. I'll see you soon.